A slow start there from Gambit, but they managed to take map 1 over Crazy Raccoon in the end. I'm Yingsu, and I'm back on the desk with Sean and Tom. Now, that was the defensive side that we always speak about, right, from Gambit?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
we look at this team and their attack has always been very slow, defaulty, and runs out of time quite often. Like, that's been one of the big issues we've had with this squad. You get onto the defense and, well, I almost have to look at Crazy Raccoon a little bit and go, I feel like their duelists are maybe a little bit to blame in that one.
Yeah, but also I have to give Gambit credit, because right on the pistol round, we were sitting here, watching the wall go across mid to cut off a default and take mid control, and they just pop flash through it right away on pistol round, basically telling Crazy Raccoon, this wall's not going to cut it. You better be worried about us pop flashing through this. We're not going to sit back in the sites and allow you to run your tactics. And Gambit just put an end to everything so quickly in that second half.
I know you guys were impressed with the Viper on the defense side, but Sean, what did you make of the Viper play on the attack side?
I just think it's not even that the Viper was a bad pick on the attack side, it's just that they didn't have the tools to enter the sites, right? They just didn't have the initiators because they were running a different composition. A lot of teams were using the Sova Sky combination, and I mean, I think they just couldn't find the openings, which is why clips like this happen, where Nats is just nesting in this B site, nesting in A site. It was just so hard to get him out.
Well, that's the thing. You can almost... I know there's a guy out there who likes to say stats don't lie. I'm going to look at the duelists here. 6 and 20, 7 and 16. Between them, 0 and 11 in first bloods.
Oh,
like, you're never going to win a game on attack if you can't get any opening kills, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and so going into that, 8fisker and Munchkin combine 0 and 15 in first bloods. Oh, yeah, that's...
Should have subbed you in, Sean.
Yeah.
Should have subbed you in.
I don't think I would have done any better, Tom. I'm just saying. But on the other side, Defo, Shados, and Nats, they combined for like 15 and 2 in opening duels. So just that stat alone tells you this game shouldn't even be close. I can't believe that it was as close as it was.
Yeah, they did very well there, especially in the first half. There was a lot of interesting things that happened in that match. We have Mitchman standing by, and I'm most interested in on whether Mitch is tall enough to reach that telestrator.
Oh my.
All right, okay, let's calm down a little bit on that one, Sue. They've lowered it for me, don't worry. Sean's he's a big guy, so is Balla, so you can understand it. Now I've got a couple of rounds to break down, just 2 for you. The first is going to be quite a quick one here, and it's basically just looking at this nasty little setup right here. So obviously you're seeing Astra Stars in position for the attacker side all throughout the back of the site, and they're in a position where you are expecting it to be a B push. The response is to put Astra Stars here with a little trap wire, knowing full well that Gambit were likely to go for that typical entry play. Pop your flash, pop your recon as you're seeing towards the backside, and just at this moment, you're gonna get this dash coming out of Jet. And that is the idea here, is that right where Jet is, there is a gravitational well pulling her back into position, and the typical way to bypass that is going to be to dash. But take a look what happens when you dash. The trap wire pulls her all the way back and even allowed Neth to get a second kill. And I'm just going to show you this from Neth's perspective. Excellent utility from him. There you go, you're trying to bypass that gravitational well, slingshot right back. He gets a second kill out of it as well, which was just the cherry on top, and it really set his team up well. I love those little holes coming out of the Astra. Now, one more thing that I want to show you, and this is more of an extended clip, and I'll keep it rolling as we go. But this round started with Gambit looking to take control in towards B. You have this setup here from the Cypher, which is very much based around, like, the trap wire is kind of a late round plan. But the camera that they have up is obviously to cover them pushing through. They immediately bait out the Viper's pit and then start to rotate, but they leave Nats behind. And while we're watching this round, keep in mind, Nats doesn't move from this little corner. He stays there the entire round, and it's actually beautiful how it works out for them. They start moving towards the A site. They put first of all, a Sova drone goes up through tree. Then you're going to have the Tiger, the Trailblazer, put through as well. An Astra Star that smokes off this area towards Garden. And from a defender's POV on that A site, you are 100% certain that they are coming towards you. They've just committed so much utility. And you've got a trap wire on mid, covering for that rotate back. So right now, they're thinking, hey, this is definitely going to be a finish towards the A site. You have a little bit of early aggression to try and come and section them off afterwards. And what this prompts them to do when the trap wire breaks smokes in mid and the flash comes up through is that this Viper is now under threat. She can be pushed from B main and she can be pushed from behind. And so she wants to try to take some early control and push back through. It's been about a minute since that Viper's pit went up, but as she steps forward, Nats is there, waiting to take her down. The patience of this man to literally stand in a corner for a minute while his team works the other side of the map, sells out that fake control, is absolutely spectacular. And him staying alive got them even more done, because then just the cherry on top of this round was the trap wire right there. They have a camera to watch it up behind, but they know as soon as this player steps forward and breaks that trap wire, and he'd already broken one outside a lobby, so they knew they'd initiated a flank, Nats was ready to take him down too. Overall, it was a beautiful round, and here's his POV. He literally didn't move with a minute or so on the clock, and then takes the frag, opens this up, and they immediately blitz into the backside, taking all the kills that they can and winning out the round. It was beautiful seeing Gambit adapt round on round to what was being thrown at them, and it's the reason that coming into the second half and the later stages of the attack, we saw so little from Crazy Raccoon. I'm in love with this team. I don't know about you guys over on the desk.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Very well broken down, beautifully said. Sean, I think he's trying to come for your job.
Yeah, that was super good.
Yeah.
I love the round he chose too with the Vipers, but that was one we talked on the desk. So the theory behind it is faking the other site, because everyone wants to leave the Viper in the pit. No one wants to go into that site. So you're very quick to rotate away from it if you're on defense, and they use that to its best ability.
Well, that was Ascent, but we're moving on to Icebox next. Now, this is the map that they both did play last time, Tom. It didn't work out so well for Crazy Raccoon.
Yeah, I almost wonder, like, well, I know we've been informed, but whether or not we're going to see a slight change in terms of the personnel, because it's like, realistically, they had players missing that I think could have helped them. The fact that Medusa doesn't really play this map is something that worries me, because I think he's one of the better players for at least locking down the site. The other issue as well is we've only really seen decent defensive halves, at least versus Gambit, and they only start on this map on attack. And it's not been going great.
It didn't go well in the first series for them. But yeah, like you said, they're likely to bring in Bozzy for this matchup because Medusa plays that Sentinel role, and they don't run a Sentinel on Icebox. They run that standard comp with the Sova, the Viper, the Sage, and then they fill it in actually with a Sky. So that's one unique thing in their comp that probably Gambit isn't used to too much in Europe, is the double initiator on Icebox.
I believe I can confirm that Bozzy has been brought in for Medusa. You guys were right there. But of course, 13-1 the last time we saw them. Sean, what do they need to do differently this time?
Oh, well, in that first matchup, it was a totally different team. And we mentioned this before. They looked shell-shocked. They said it in the interview. They were nervous in the matchup. I just think they just need to settle into their game and take their opening duels, you know, stick in packs and trade. They did a great job of that on Ascent. I just think that's a map you don't want to challenge Gambit on.
Yeah, I think as well, again, I'm going to put Fisker as a focal point. I'm yet to see him really perform on that Sky, and if it's going to be an agent you bring in on this map in particular, as you said, it's sort of a niche, there needs to be a reason for that niche. If not, stick him on Arena, let him frag out, let him be more aggressive, because for now, I haven't seen the value of him playing that agent.
Well, we're heading into Prime Gaming Agent Select now. And speaking of that Reyna, Chronicle expected to play the Reyna. They've made that up.
Oh, Shados.
Okay.
Shados was
Of
last
course,
time,
yeah,
baby. He went in and he absolutely obliterated
They
them.
made that change, of course, with the three-way swap, I believe, between the Reyna, the Sage, and was it Sova? I believe that was, yeah.
So Shados in that game was 19-3.
Oh, okay.
It's actually insane.
Okay, Munchkin. We didn't see that, but Munchkin has locked in the Reyna. This is not what he played the last time.
I like this a
Fisker
lot.
on the Jet. Yes,
Yeah.
I love this. He's not been playing a good tournament on the Sky. We know that he can play the Jet really well.
I
so
love
Munchkin
this.
falls into the Reyna. They're running.
Can't look away.
Yeah,
This mirror matchup, right? If you can't beat them in the old comp, you might as well beat them on their own comp. But Crazy Raccoon, they ran into some trouble the last time we saw them on Icebox, but they do have an opportunity, Doug and Rib, to redeem themselves over here.
Yes, they do indeed, and I think you got to spice it up a bit. We saw the differences in agent composition, so add a little spice. Fisker's Sky, Fisker Sky, for a good reason, has been pretty well criticized, at least this performance this tournament. Now going to the Munchkin on the Reyna, and then you got Fisker back on the Jet, so something a little different, but I think the desk highlighted something that's very important. Crazy Raccoon starting off on the attack. Gambit, they're pretty good when it comes to defensive halves.
See what they have. Yeah, Fisker, his previous plays, except for this tournament, have been the raise jet, but now Fisker coming in with the jet and Ade too.
2 big early kills. Chronicle's gonna get 1. On to Fisker. Ade looking to get the plant. Chronicle goes up top, spots Neth.
Spike planted.
So the spike is gonna go down. You've got Shados who's starting to show up as well.
Uh-oh.
We know how good they can be in pistols as well. Chronicle on the swing. He's just tanking the damage. Hello, swings out and he's stuck. People all around him. Shados is left alone in a 1v3. The thing is, you've got 2 of them that are very weak, Neth and Baziar. But Shados' spot has been given away.
Ooh, hides behind the metal.
I don't know. Shados is going to have enough room or enough time. No, enough health, even as Bazi cleans him up. So Crazy Raccoon need to start strong. They win the pistol.
I like trying to just lessen the damage if he was going to get hit there. Gets himself back to safety, but still can't come up with the round. Unfortunate coming in as well. We saw the drone play. Basically, the right click from the Classic just drew Sage's head on the wall. A beautiful picture there. And it was not what they needed. Great job by Crazy Raccoon to find the pistol round. They were able to do that the first half of Ascent. Let's see where they can carry this one from. The double duelist comp now. See how hard they use it.
Fisker buying big here, bringing a Guardian. I also think for Nats and Redgar, 2 shorties. Something a little different. You see how they're positioned. They want to play tight. Defo already got 1 with the Sheriff. Bazu's dropped. They give that space right back up, but they got what they wanted.
All right, Fisker's going to use the Leer here to get in. Straight across the rope goes Neth. And it looks like they're actually leaving Jet on the ground and let everybody else play the elevation.
Fisker's Guardian. He's able to take out Chronicle. The spike goes down as well.
Oh boy.
And that wall up there makes it so difficult. They have to wrap around Nest to make something happen. Fisker dancing around, dodging around. Yes, the Guardian's enough, but Defo's already gotten 3. With the Sheriff, he's healthy too. Gets 4.
Oh my God, no way.
1 HP, 4 bullets. The Cloudburst. The swing, Adi's able to back up, but I think he's going for lineups. The tap, there it is, the lineups there. Defo has to wait it out. He spotted him.
Wait, that went low?
Ade knows he landed low as well. Defo has spotted him. Defo not able to land the shots. The ghost was there from Ade, the denial of time. But baby, was that close.
Dude, we have dueling Blade Storms coming into 3rd round, Doug. I want to see these. What a round from the Jets to start it off. Defo to get this huge frag. The rest of the squad coming up big as Fisker hits the Guardian shots. Oh my word, and it came down to the 1v1 after Defo was just hitting the laser beams.
Dude, and he almost does it.
Yeah,
like he almost,
that was close.
Ade played that as best as he could have given the circumstances. He tried playing around the lineups like we saw and tried denying time, and it worked out beautifully.
Guardians, I love it. Going back, pretty strong too. This is going to be a pretty hard pressure on A to start things off. Crazy Raccoon. Whoa, just for the Leer.
Yeah, playing off the Leer, like you said, Fisker is able to take care of Shados early on. Chronicle's bat sight, Defo is as well. And of course, as I say that, he's not going to be around for long. Fisker is able to take care of that. The spike goes down to 5v3 in favor of Crazy Raccoon.
Doable, but not a lot of the members of Crazy Raccoon are giving the peaks. A little hit up for worse for wear there. Chronicle with 2. Redgar coming in from screen.
And it was playing off of the snake bite from Nats, forced him out of that angle. Setup was there. Munchkin with 2 big kills though. And he has info on where Chronicle is. A 1v3, no dice. Crazy Raccoon, bust economy, they win the bonus.
Strong play by Munchkin up front, able to take a few out. Fisker as well, adding to his KDA, 7-3 already on the top of the charts. And he has that Blade Storm still. I think we got both of them. Just the wide swings with the Guardian against the automatic weapons. Looks comfortable. The lineup for Munchkin. And they're getting these holds in their favor so much. They're not really having to work for too much so far. And they seem to be under the skin of Gambit on these attacks.
Crazy Raccoon leaning towards A. Again, you hear the Blade Storm has come online. The Leer to give Fisker some room to work with. A Bucky.
A Bucky, indeed.
In the hands of Nats. And it looks like they're playing a bit off-site on the side of Gambit. You've got Defo who's playing tight. Or excuse me, not Defo. Redgar who's playing tight. Fisker working his way around the site. Goes up top. Redgar good for 1. With the Sheriff. Munchkin. Looking to stuff that push though. He's already good for 2. Munchkin's played so well to open this map. What can Nats do? Oh man, if only you had anything other than a judge in that moment. Nats playing tight though.
Oh boy. Slowing this one down a little bit. Spike is there for Munchkin, but they're waiting for more peeks. I love this. Just calm before the storm from Gambit. They're saying, all right, you make a move. Because we've... Oh, no! Okay. That was close. Defo coming up with another big frag there. The Blade Storms for Defo are where we saw Gambit actually be able to control a lot of their maps. If it wasn't Nats and the rest of the team, Defo was opening up. And I know a lot of the fans and everyone is saying, where was Defo the last map? Where has he been? He's showing up a little bit more once again here when they need him. Defo and Fisker. It's going to be a jet diff this game, I think, Doug.
And that's the one difference from the previous time they met on Icebox, right? Like, Defo didn't have to do very much the last time they played. He went 9-5. He was kind of chilling, letting Shados do what he needed to do.
all day.
But this time, there's a jet to duel back. And it's been Fisker, like you said, and he's performed very admirably up until this point. You're going to have to continue to go toe-to-toe with Defo to try to take this map away. And that's not the start you want if you're Crazy Raccoon.
A quick 2 attack. They take down Munchkin, one of the pivotal players right now for Crazy Raccoon, so already starting off this round fantastic. We're seeing a bit of that Ascent defense from Gambit on this round where they're pushing up to create the first attack from their defensive side. Nats looks like he wants to shut down what is an initial rush here. Oh God, he's just gonna play the mind games. He can hear him.
Oh, I love that setup. Just a little bit of Viper tech there. Drops, gets into the smoke, pulls it back, and he gets a sightline before the opponents do. He wasn't able to convert it into a kill, cleans up Fisker anyway, and Bazzi trades that back out. Viper Util from Crazy Raccoon going down towards B. They can lean that way, but the problem is Gambit is 3 here already, and Defo's holding mid, knowing there's no rotate off.
Poison Orb in mid just comes down, though Defo gets an idea that nobody's crossing that area. He's still holding. You can see Redgar watching back as Crazy Raccoon encroaches into the site. Nath with the wall. Will he have enough time? And he just drops Shados.
Wall's gonna go up as well, so the spike should go down. Chronicle's got a little bit of util, 1 point away from having the Hunter's Fury online as well.
Shocked out Wars.
Bazzi with a little fancy footwork there to stay healthy. Spike continues to take. You see Chronicle stepping back. Still has one shock dart to work with.
This is a scary spot, Doug.
Testing the structural integrity of that wall. Make sure it's not going to cause any problems. There was the one shock dart that we saw. Chronicle drops as well. Ade still playing tight. Nat gets one to Fisker. The ult's going to come out. Bring Fisker back. Redgar had his hands full. A thrifty round win. One traded back, right? Because Gambit won the last round in thrifty fashion as well.
A few more ultimates coming online now for both sides. Let's see if those can start to secure a few more rounds here. We'll watch this one once again. Nath, a beautiful quick flick to the right. Everybody gets the safety. And the way they played this double peek, top peeks, bottom peeks, really nicely done to make sure Redgar could not come up with it because his aim was almost locked on bottom top if he would have hit those headshots. Into round 6, Gambit already look for that timeout.
Now, the deficit's not huge, but it's been a great start.
I mean, it was 6-0 last time, right? So
that's true. That's a very good point. I think the thing, though, is the way the economy has been bouncing back and forth. As we mentioned, 2 thrifty round wins, 1 for each side. And you see that kind of like start to toss back and forth as far as what you're going to be able to bring into the next round. We're at about the halfway point in this first half. So there's still, the economy, the later we go into the half, economy becomes more and more important.
We talked a little bit about this Icebox matchup and how it looked closer based on their region statistics. A 67% win rate on Icebox for the side of Crazy Raccoon, a 69% win rate on that side for Gambit. The thing is in the plays, it's in the reps. I think Stu said that about Ascent, but Gambit has it almost across every map. 26 plays since April on this, on Icebox to what is Crazy Raccoon's 9. They still have good records on it, but those reps are going to come up big. And we see it may take a bit for Gambit on these ones with how the Crazy Raccoons has adjusted their play. It's definitely not a look Gambit was expecting. And we're seeing that now, the potential of Crazy Raccoons.
Gambit bringing 2 sheriffs into this round, rifles the rest of the way, and they've got the Viper's Pit right off the bat. Fisker landing that shot, though, and that takes all of that denial of info and denial of space away. Crazy Raccoon push right into it. They take the space, and there's nobody else on the site, right? They're going to be able to take that for free.
Bazzi with the ult, Hade with the ult. They can just throw these down if necessary, but more than likely holding them into the next round, just showing you how confident they are moving forward. And they should be, especially on an eco round coming in. Chronicle's gonna make them think twice for a quick second. Chronicle looks for the end of his magazine to find Ade, but it does not happen.
Counter Viper's Pit. Redgar and Defo just have sheriffs as they work their way down below.
Spike planted.
One benefit is they may not know where they're coming from, but Fisker's swinging out to check it. Defo upgrades a weapon, as does Redgar. Rifles online, and this becomes a certainly more winnable situation than it was before, but you still have to deal with the Viper's Pit. You still have to deal with Bazzi, and good, you check that box. That's done. It's just Ade playing outside of his ult. For now, he spots Defo! Ade still has 31 armor. A little ring around the Rosie, and I don't know that Ade knows, but the timing's right. Ade comes up huge for Crazy Raccoon. A Red Bull clutch, a 3K, and a 4-round lead for the representatives from Japan.
That one got a little tight. Ade definitely saving that round for how fierce Gambit came in with their sheriffs. Crazy Raccoon feeling it now. We still have the Jets on top, waiting for the operators to come back out once the bankroll is there. But the backup to play off the spike, and that gives him more room once he does enter that Viper's Pit again if he needs to, knowing the defuse would be just a bit away. So overall, great placement to set himself up for a victory that round.
And again for Gambit, previous round it was 2 sheriffs, this time it's 3 and a ghost and a specter to round things out in Shadow's hands. 1 point away from having the Empress online, so if you find something, you can bring that in. Look at how aggressively they gamble mid and long.
Yep.
The thing is, Crazy Raccoon are going to be able to waltz into A for free, and you've got Fisker's op to hold the flank. Good for one.
Boy.
Oh man, Bazzi's there as well. There's just no way in for Gambit. How many shots is Fisker going to get away with? Again, Bazzi there to clean things up. A 3K for him. Nats alone. That's it. A 4K for Bazzi. A Prime Gaming flawless for Crazy Raccoon, and a 5-round lead.
They want to get back to the gun rounds. They want to get some ultimates. They do have 3 in their favor now for the side of Gambit. Crazy Raccoon able to just keep clicking heads when necessary. Great setup to turn around, find Nats and the rest of the team doing a little bit of a rotation around there. And let's see what we actually have for our ults here. There's the Empress, Rez, and the Hunter's Fury. So Hunter's Fury could be dueling this round. But Gambit, I think, need to prevent Crazy Raccoon from getting on a site. They have been able to set up defense so well, so fast, and it seems unstoppable right now.
Redgar using his wall early on. There's the first Hunter's Fury that you called. Is it going to be responded in kind? No, for now. Not the case. Chronicle burns that early. 120 left in the round.
Here.
All right, so they have an idea of where Nats is. I'd say that's actually a pretty big advantage if you know you don't want to go towards him and play with that Viper tech you were talking about earlier. We saw him just use it at B long. And Nats will still hang out. Viper's Bite is going to go. They don't know exactly what's happening, but they're hoping to deter an attack. They're going to be right on the execution. It's just who comes up with the first blood here. So much patience.
It's just so difficult. You can get up to 410, but until you get past that, you haven't really advanced at all. Neff gets the opener onto Nats, so Hunter's Fury is going to come out from Bazzi as well as they try to entry onto the site. Shadows try taking one with them, but no, drops Redgar. Looking to anchor down the site. He's going to take a shell to the face at the hands of Fisker as he's out as well. Numbers heavily in favor of Crazy Raccoon. Just 2 members remain on the side of Gambit. Make that one. It's Defo. He's got the op too. It's not like he has a Blade Storm. Surely you save that. Potentially try to carry it into the next round. Maybe get an exit or 2 along the way.
So Crazy Raccoon again, slowly move up. Munchkin into position on pipes. Somebody ready to go low. That's been Neth. The opening shots from Neth are huge. He drops Nats this round as Defo picks up another one. But Bazzi's Hunter's Fury, throwing that through screens, just an up-the-gut shot does not allow the rest of Gambit into the site to get in and to retake. Now they're chasing Defo around, blood in the water, and they're going to hunt him down. Operator grab. No, I mean, Fisk already has one, so they won't pick that up, but really, really well played. So again, up with the Leer, and they vary this round with the Hunter's Fury to separate and really cause chaos for Gambit inside the defensive A.
Crazy Raccoon. So we talked about on Ascent, yeah, it's not a great half for Gambit. It's almost excusable that Gambit had a slow start. There are no excuses this time around. This is their preferred half. This is where they're statistically better, and Crazy Raccoon have not been fazed by it whatsoever.
No, and that's their attack win rate is 45% to their defense of 64. So right now they're coming in on what is considered the weak side with 7. Here another op look from Fisker. And what will he be able to find? The Bulldog for Chronicle there, as they are still able to sort out a bit of money here. Gambit knows they need some rounds.
Remember, one of the key things in this previous matchup with Shados was just able to run rampant.
Yeah.
All over. Crazy Raccoon did whatever the heck he wanted. Nobody to keep him in check. This time, really, for Gambit across the board, it's been slow, it's been quiet. They've had maybe a highlight moment or two that was fancy, but haven't been able to convert it into much. Defo. Frenzy. Nope. Nothing doing.
Gets a bit of overheal, back up to healthy. The wall actually comes in early. Set up on the side of Gambit to try and deter this. They don't know what. Crazy Raccoons is like, wait, why? We'll set up our own. We don't like this at all. Great movement by Munchkin, and the rest of Crazy Raccoon is in B.
Slowly but surely creep their way forward. Important kill traded out from Shados as he's able to get 2 and go back up.
30 seconds left.
Munchkin using the Empress. So the spike is down. Crazy Raccoon gonna have a hard time getting to it, I believe. Yeah, if Nat swings out, he should have a sight line on it.
Bulldog by
Chronicle gets the second, Nat gets the third, another thrifty, and a desperately needed one for Gambit.
Gambit dip in to the 401k on that round. They find themselves the buys, and wow, the rotation over from Chronicle. Another one that can come up with frags. Not really a surprise to see him doing this. Always calm, cool, collected in any situation. Everybody's cheering, everybody's up in their seats yelling. There's Chronicle there, just still shooting heads. What a round from Gambit to get the thrifty.
Chillin'. Fisker with the Outblade Storm. Defo's gonna respond in the exact same way. He is a op and a Blade Storm to work with. Redgar has the res as well. Defo gets the first chance.
In and out.
Boy, oh boy, did he get messed up.
Gonna get a quick heal here. Redgar will give him the sponge bath. He's back to yellow for some shots, though. I like the early wall, forcing most of them towards what is going to be Defo on the operator at yellow. He actually backs out. They're gonna give the site for a retake.
And he gets tagged up again.
Badly.
Get out of my way.
Down to 32 health. The op didn't work. But we'll see Fisker using that Blade Storm, see if he can make anything happen with that. For Crazy Raccoon, they've worked their way into back yellow, just like we saw in the previous round. It was Chronicle's Bulldog that stuffed that push. Does he have it in him again?
Everybody's up near yellow. This is kind of like a well we have to round, and they're going to be pushing through right now. Gambit are more than happy to receive Crazy Raccoon.
What a defensive hold. And it was all off of the Viper util, right? That wall was up, and Crazy Raccoon are like, all right, baby, we're going. We hope you're ready for us. And Gambit were just able to handle that beautifully. Defo gets the last shot with the op. So for Gambit, a very convincing round win. And for Crazy Raccoon, I think we can think about that round and go, did they go a little too aggressive? Right? Like, did you try getting a little greedy there?
That's what I feel like. Once they got into the site, it felt like we were on Aeon Breeze. You got 5v5 just on the other side of a wall.
Yep.
And kind of at that point, they had lost control of mid, and it's, well, we're here. And they ran through right into the family photo of Gambit just mowing them down. 7-3. Now Gambit again starts to come back after suffering many losses on these rounds that make it look like Crazy Raccoon could run away with it, but Gambit never out.
It's almost like we've been here before. Yeah, Defo tagged up there. He's going to have to give up that position. Still has the op, still holding that angle, though. The Lear's going to push him back, and then if the Lear didn't, the drone's going to push him back as well. So a little bit of space given up here from Gambit as Crazy Raccoon lean towards B.
Quick plant down. That's going to be prioritized over to Ade, who's close to his Viper ult once again to help control that map and further rounds. Fisker and the rest of the team. Oh no, 2 in sight now. The rest of the team goes back long B for Crazy Raccoon to hold.
Redgar has the heal, or the res, excuse me. So things go a little sideways depending on positioning. They can try to equalize the numbers again. Bladestorm coming out. The Lear. Defo's the one going hunting this time around.
Defo.
Good for one. Defo! Getting the second and a third. Looking for more, but no. Bazzi stops it. Chronicle trades that out. Ade's left alone. The tap has started. Nats should be able to get it to half. And that's all that Crazy Raccoon are going to be able to do. Yeah, him getting it to half secured that round. So Gambit gets a 4, 1 round away from ending the half, much like we saw in Ascent. Crazy Raccoon come out hot, Gambit fight back.
And he awakens. Defo again with the Blade Storm, taking 3. Completely had done his job that round for the rest of the team to clean up. Never down, never out, as I just said. Gambit pulls another one back into their favor now. 3 strong, which is that 2,900 lost credits over to the side of Crazy Raccoon. This is that final round, so they're forced into a partial buy on some. Marshall there. It doesn't look too bad across the armor, though. They can get full.
Scanning ahead.
Again, you still got the res. You got the res on both sides. Shados with an early peek. See what's around the corner. Lear counter coming out from Shados.
It's the first time they haven't really worked off the Lear. That was the Owl drone move. So they still have Lears to make their way into the site if necessary. It looks like Viper's Bite will close it off for now.
Yeah, this is a really cool setup coming out from Gambit. You've got the op in the hands of Defo, down B long to make sure there's nobody working their way forward, and then there's a wall actually across the middle of the map, so they can heavily stack towards A. The info that Shados gathered initially allows them to do that as well, but Crazy Raccoon don't seem too concerned. Redgar was in a great spot, able to get one, but that's all he was able to get. 3v2 in favor of Crazy Raccoon. The 2 remaining members of Gambit are off site. You've still got Defo, who's just now showing up, so full site control for Crazy Raccoon. They haven't gotten the spike down yet. Hunter Fury coming out. Oh, Chronicle's been messed up. I like that. The patience, they wait, don't instantly get the spike down. Munchkin takes care of Chronicle. Defo's left alone with the op.
Chronicle fires a sonar bolt and instantly eats a Hunter's Fury from giving up his position. Crazy Raccoon so ready on this, and that was going to be an operator and the Phantom coming in from Chronicle. So if they were able to play it slow, it's ops from Defo, but now the operator alone is very tough as he picks up a Phantom Dug.
Does have a couple of up traps and a couple of cloudbursts to work with. No reason to save here, so he can try to make something happen. Defo in a 1v3, playing tight, playing close. Munchkin good for 3, an excellent half from Crazy Raccoon. Much like Ascent, not what we expected. The one difference was, as we mentioned earlier, Riv, this was supposed to be Gambit's strong half, and it was not.
Another fantastic start there for Crazy Raccoon. You know, definitely not the same team we saw the last time they played against Gambit.
No, Fisker busted out that Guardian on the Jet. Just such a Chad play. We were loving it to start the game. And then to kick it off at the end, I mean, that was such a cool play because the Sova over on Crazy Raccoon grabs the orb. It just blind ult screens to get that 8th round. Such a good half from Crazy Raccoon.
Yeah, I think even just, again, like, I focused on the duelists in the last map saying, like, oh, we need to see them step up, and they definitely did. Like, Fisker was much better, but I also just think in terms of how composed Crazy Raccoon actually looked, like, they were able to deny a lot of the control. Like, we like to see over on the Gambit side how deep they push into B, and a lot of rounds they go for those same sort of plays, and they got shut out very quickly, so they had to fall back into more passive positions, and in afterplants, Crazy Raccoon actually looked very good.
Yeah, in those mid-game scenarios, this is what's changed between the games, right? They had the First Bloods in the first game, but this time around, one of those post plans, we were watching the Viper just dance around the Sage wall as they were all just breaking around her, and she got away. The Sage gets a kill top boxes, and then the Rez comes in. Their mid-rounds look fantastic.
I asked you this before in the first map, Tom, was 7 rounds enough for Crazy Raccoon? In this instance, is 8 rounds enough?
It definitely can be. Like, I don't want to be definitive and say, like, there's no way that Gambit could ever bring this back, because that's something I feel like they're almost experts in, especially if they get a pistol under their belt. But this half is a lot more damning than I would say the last one. I had a lot more faith in their defense on Ascent, whereas their attack on this map is okay, but it's a little bit more questionable.
Raccoons rise up. I think we're going 3 maps, Tiansu.
It's a singular raccoon, though. It's got to be the paws rising up.
Us fans are all raccoons.
You're all raccoons. You're dubbing. You're not a paper boy anymore?
I'm not a paper boy. I'm not a raccoon.
I think Sean's just crazy. I think that's the way I'm
There we
looking
go.
at it.
Crazy Sean. I like that more. What do you think is enough, Sean? 8 rounds?
I do. I think 8 rounds is more than enough on their attack half of Icebox. I honestly think they can take this, especially with the Reyna Jet combo on this A site.
Well, Crazy Raccoon, they're on a brink of an upset here, but let's send this back to Doug and Rib to get us kicked off for the second half.
I got to tell you, I am kind of glad that it's a singular Crazy Raccoon. I don't know what world would look like if there was more than one, especially for Gambit. Crazy Raccoon on the precipice of having the hottest glow-up of 2021. Remember, 13-1, 13-1, the first time these two teams danced. And we're talking about entirely different partners here.
And they're doing this with a squad that they can switch up, that they feel comfortable putting in 5 of 7 players, I should say, not just one. But being able to make it work, making sure that communication, that trust in players, that everybody's watching their angle, nobody second guesses, seems to be coming together just at the right time for Crazy Raccoon. Now Gambit on the offensive, we know. They love to be aggressive.
Well, Munchkin is being pretty aggressive as well. He just waltzed down mid, was able to clean up Chronicle, so they're in a bit of a pinch here. Munchkin gives that space right back up, but for Gambit here, I wonder if okay, so they are going to stick it. They are going to commit to Redgar, trying to get the spike down. Neff trying to blast to do that. Nothing doing. Defo takes care of Bazzi early on. They have long control, and they do have one snakebite for a lineup from that.
He's backed up. Seems like he might be shooting over that. Yep. As it flies through the air like a soaring eagle. Oh, Nav coming up big.
Yeah, it may not matter. So it is able to push him back. Shados drops as well. Nats doesn't have any more. He doesn't have any health either. Munchkin gets 4. Crazy Raccoon win this pistol as well.
Jet to Reyna. It seems like he's enjoying it quite a bit for Munchkin here. Wow, Jet goes to Fisker. Munchkin now on the Reyna has been huge throughout these pistol rounds. Huge with the Lear for the execute onto sights. And there, the defensive play, 16, 8, and 4 for Munchkin on this agent switch from map to map.
And I think the pistol going Crazy Raccoon's way is, I almost can hear Sean from the desk right now, the singular Crazy Raccoon is just going nuts because that's a big deal, right? You give Gambit, and we saw it, halves aside and statistics, what have you, Gambit have shown that they can get back into a map, right? Yeah. If they find themselves at a deficit. For Crazy Raccoon winning that pistol, it's a big deal. You've got to pad that up as much as you can. Don't give Gambit an inch as they take all of mid.
Yeah, this is spike down strat. They got spike down first round, extra money. Spike down this round. Make sure the util, full util comes in with a buy. Neff good for 1.
Power in numbers. Defo's able to trade Neff out to get the spike down. As you said, they've reassumed control of B. That wall off is actually, could be pretty problematic here for Crazy Raccoon. They're going to have to bust their way through that. It is their wall. Yep. Fisker tried to go up.
Awesome
Defo rips him right back down. What else did Crazy Raccoon do in their attempt to get back into his? Munchkin's 1 away from having Empress online. Ade's good for 2. Dancing around, 20 HP and 7 bullets. Tap. Go, go, go! Shados gets that. Munchkin was on the tap. Chronicle swings around. The timing is gorgeous as Bazzi is left alone. Shados is so weak. A thrifty round win. Economy swung right back.
Chronicle towards the end of last half started to turn it up a bit, and he is still feeling it as they enter into these second half rounds. 12 and 10 for him. Gonna get that Hunter's Fury a bit more if he keeps those frags up and a bit more control of the map. Ade doing what he does best, quick for 2. Always tough to take down Shados, but look at him, calm, cool, collected. He's like a statue. He just knows he's protecting everything. Great round by Gambit.
Gambit leaning A here. Viper's wall towards B. But that's all they're showing that way. You have the Marshal in the hands of Bazzi, but there should be very little question about where they're going here. Fisker gets tagged up. Defo's made his presence known. You also saw some Sova util and the Lear, including the drone. So that should tell Crazy Raccoon everything they need to know. It's not just 1 or 2 players towards A. They're sending the full freaking house.
Yeah, everyone's moving. The only one covering Munchkin is on mid now, as they're sorted out and ready to take what would be Gambit's execute towards A. Good info can be grabbed by Nats here, but it depends on how soon he meets Munchkin. They actually just pass each other without seeing.
Oh, Shados may have spotted Fisker there. Yep. Lands the shots too. Cleans him up. Nats flanking his way around. Redguard looking to get the spike down as Defo gets another one. Heal up to Defo. Good guy, but Ade had a big moment in the previous round. Can he do it again? No, not this time around. Shados takes care of that. Bazzi finds himself in a 2vx again. Now it's just Munchkin. Nats. Beautiful. A Prime gaming flawless coming out from Gambit. We talked about how the economy was turned the other way. Crazy Raccoon didn't have much to fight back in this round, but now they should be a bit more comfortable.
That timing for Nats is just absurd. Like, yeah, he had a smoke to play around, he could stay hidden, but to know that as soon as we saw him turning towards the site, Nats started moving forward. Shados here inside and just working this one through, making sure they can grab the eco round and pick up the frags where they need. Defo on the Blade Storm. Munchkin with the Empress here. We enter round 16, and Gambit look to quickly close the round gap.
Crazy Raccoon, a heavy stack towards A, playing all around 410, as you see, and for good reason. Fisker already able to get 2. They're going to give some of that space back, but the damage has been done. They've already gotten the 2 kills they're looking for.
That's absurd. Just almost a collat coming in. Might have just been a sidestep into the headshot. Nats drops Fisker. They get that pivotal player out for Crazy Raccoon, and now it is a 4v3 as we continue.
Ooh, crispy out from Redgar as well. A little tandem. Bit too much for him to handle. You also have Defo, who's got the Blade Storm, hasn't popped it yet.
You will not kill
Chronicle's coming back online. Ade, excuse me, returning to the scene of the crime. See what went down. Gambit still leaning towards A. They're going to use a drone. They're going, Griv.
It's really big that they were able to get res here. Having that Soviet util come back up. Chronicle being able to use that to get into the site is what they need, especially a person down.
Look at Nats, the rat, lurking his way in, quietly dissecting all of what Crazy Raccoon have set up. He's able to get behind them, grab a pick, and now from that, Gambit are actually going to rotate back towards B. You've only got Net there, and for Crazy Raccoon, you're at such a numbers disadvantage. I mean, you have 2 options here, right? Either you gamble, stack 2 on the same site, or split things out. Net able to take care of Nats early on, but that's all that's going to happen. The spike should go down, leaving Ade in a 1v3.
Spike planted.
Hopefully doing a bit of damage on the way out. He's seen. All eyes on Ade. And he will try to do his hardest here to get around the wall. A nice attempt, a very tough round to cut and get through on. Gambit just seems to have the number. The way that Defo is playing as well seems a lot. Yeah, there was the almost collat shot that kind of came into it. Very beautiful play by Fisker to get himself into position, but Nats being able to push up, find his way through. The rest of the team coming up with some pretty pivotal shots to open up their 1v1s is changing the way Gambit's rounds are going here. Crazy Raccoon in the beginning always just seemed to go through pistol, wipe through the rounds. You see what the first half was. Changing a lot here for Gambit.
Once again, a tale of 2 halves. Crazy Raccoon, again, 3 heavy stack, 410. They refuse to give that space up. This time they don't have much as far as weaponry. Shados dismisses Fisker and gets away with the kill. And that's the only one who's playing down long. All you've got is a Sheriff. I mean, surely not, right?
To stay there is tough. Looking for the 1. And he's not done. He gets to stay alive in this situation. He'll slow and allow the team the information so they can rotate over, but Gambit is not deterred into the site. They go on B.
Shadows opting to use the Empress here again.
Over?
Crazy Raccoon don't have much to work with as far as artillery. Shados going hunting. You're right. He goes up and over, gets deep back behind enemy lines, and Nets Sheriff stops that dead in its tracks. Spike continuing to tick away. Redgar's position's been given away. No Hunter Siri to play off of as the spike continues to tick. Numbers advantage still in favor of Gambit. You see some of those lineups coming out. But that's it. Nats doesn't have any more, so the rest of it's just going to be a straight up fight for the site. You can see Neth waiting. He's going to drop the wall, and they're going to go. There's the wall. They start to swing around. Defo feeling it, swings around, able to take care of 1. Nats does as well. A clean sweep as Gambit bridge the gap. 1 more round.
The synergy on the peaks right now from Gambit are just too strong. They're able to identify where Crazy Raccoon are on the retake. That one was basically just from the firefight. Crazy Raccoon kept trying to hit pop shots. Gambit moved in closer and closer behind that wall, and as soon as it dropped, they had the audio clues of where their opponents were. Ultimates almost everywhere this round. How could Crazy Raccoon use them to stop Gambit from getting a 5th round in a row in the second half?
A 5th round in a row. From round 9 up until now, Crazy Raccoon have only won 2. So again, this feels just like where we were. Viper's Pit's coming out from A on the side of Crazy Raccoon to deny that entry, but Nats already good for 1. Fisker and Munchkin trading it out there as gunfight ensues down B long.
Slowing down after that, knowing the operator is just going to be taking people out. Almost a headshot. That's a tough one from Fisker, knowing that possibly goes through the wall. You will see Shados take the shot back as Nats into the kitchen. He's going to be behind enemy lines again.
That was a big kill out from Nats, too. Just gets stuffed out from Fisker there. You talked about it. He tried going in aggressively again. This time, Fisker snuffs it out. The res is going to come out from Bazzi as well, so numbers leaning heavily in favor of Crazy Raccoon, but they've gone up top. They've gone around it, and I don't know that Ade knows. The thing is, once the position's been given away, Ade's going to be able to pinch in. Neth creeping his way forward. Yeah, Neth good for one. Shados not getting anything going either. You'd said that they needed to stop the momentum. They did it without the ults that they had, with the exception of Ade's Viper's.
Right. And that means they can string them together for this round, secure a few more. See how they played this. Just a quick push up, and Nat's able to take down mid. They move so quickly through that util. And Nats has just been on point this entire series for the side of Gambit. Neth on the other side. It's been amazing to see everybody go back and forth here. Definitely a different series than I think everybody thought they were getting, and more than happy to see this from both teams.
Defo going hunting with the blades from early on. You heard the first op shot coming out from Fisker, not connecting. But Gambit happy to work the middle of the map. Munchkin playing around the poison orb. They're going to get in the kitchen, but that's the thing. You've got Fisker with an op, waiting for the angle, doesn't fire once, waits, does, and delays the second shot, gets cleaned up at the hands of Defo's Blade Storm.
They can still decide where to go. They don't even have the spike yet, which isn't a bad thing. They're just knowing that they're controlling the map. Viper's Pit and kitchen here.
There's just so much denial of information. Right, and off of that, you see Gambit are playing off. Nats is going to continue to be a nuisance, and that's just going to draw so much attention from Crazy Raccoon. But Ade going in aggressive. Oh, Defo swings around. The Blade Storm cleans that up. Numbers in favor of Gambit. The spike's going to get onto site unless Bazzi has something to say about it. Dancing around. Bazzi good for one, but that's all Bazzi's good for. Defo gets 3. The spike should go down. Nats in a 1v2, so this is not the most miserable of circumstances to be in, but a difficult one nonetheless. If he gets the timing right, he can isolate it to a 1v1. Neth able to do that. Redgar out Defo. Has the op, has the Blade Storm. Spike continuing to tick away as Neth heals up.
Stubbed his toe.
But still has to wait. The tap. Defo.
See the spike.
Oh boy, he thought about it. Oh boy, he thought about it. The Cloudburst is Neth looking to take offensive positioning here. Second Cloudburst, Spike continuing to take the dash across. Defo's just playing for time. Yeah, it's just a little bit of cat and mouse, and Neth is just not going to get a chance. Defo refuses to give him the opportunity. The Cloudburst misses, but I don't know that Neth is going to have time for it.
Nope,
really not. Yeah, he's running for the fences. Beautifully played by Defo. Continue to lure him in, lure him in, lure him in. Takes the bait.
And that's basically a second and a half. The amount of time he needed to do it too. You could see how close they were getting to defuse that, and then understood that they could not. And also throw in Crazy Raccoon for a bit of a loop, which they answered very nicely. A Viper's Pit and kitchen.
Yep.
Just chaos. Like, you kind of question, you're like, wait, how do we play around this? What do we do? And they did start to rotate a lot. Crazy Raccoon lost a few members off that, but they did not lose their anchor on the A side. Here we are, 10-9. Gambit one more, and they're able to solidify this round. Great job by Defo on that last one.
Blade Storm used early on from Fisker, opting not to buy. Defo's op is there. Well, early shot, nothing doing. This time from Crazy Raccoon, you see the drone has been used, was just used across the middle of the map. Chronicle's going to trade out with a drone of his own. Middle of the map has been so hotly contested for both of these teams, and it's been so problematic. I think Defo just spotted Munchkin's hair.
Yeah, I don't think you heard the drop, but you're right. He's looking straight up. The gas wall goes across so they can get out safely, and they will know that Defo is at least in the area. Hunter's Fury here for Chronicle.
No
as you see him moving up, and
what is that?
Neth climbing some mountains here.
Hunter's Fury's going to come out. It's going to be traded out as well. Again, Neth finds a cheeky spot. But is he, I mean, is he even going to get a shot at anything?
You will not kill
the res is going to come out, bring Chronicle back online. Yeah, he has to give it back up. It was dope. It just didn't provide very much. Spike continuing to take away a 5v4, make that a 5v3 as Defo's able to take care of Neth, going, looking for more. Spike taking Defo, just narrowly missing that shot, but it doesn't matter because Redgar was there to clean things up. Ade's the last one that remains. presumably going to try to carry the Phantom into the next round. Surely you don't take this 1v4. So he's going to bring that in. Gambit have tied things up. They were down again, but they showed that they just seem to be more comfortable playing from being down.
I think it's a lot of experience from these players, understanding, again, never down and out, being able to pull rounds back, how the econ game works, and now they're sitting very pretty on that economy, able to string these rounds together, and Defo is definitely back, 24 and 14. Only 2 of those assists. He's been working quite a bit just by himself, and here he starts it off at B with the operator.
And it is interesting to consider because, as we highlighted previously, it was Shados who had his way with Crazy Raccoon the first time around. 19 and 3 on the Reyna. This time, it hasn't been a bad performance, but he just hasn't had to do that. It's been all Defo. There were questions around Defo. How would he be able to perform on the international stage? The guy has answered the call through and through and continues to look for more. Crazy Raccoon full sending A right into the warm welcoming arms of Nats as he gets 2, not able to get a third as Fisker trades that out.
Grab that Phantom, run back home. It looks like that's what will happen. Guardian, 2 Phantoms here, 4v3. A very tough and tall task for Crazy Raccoon to get back over and defuse this is what is going to be executed on for B.
Chronicle waiting. Make sure there's nobody coming around. Spotted a Guardian, Fisker.
Yeah, just a tap.
Up too. Now, though, 2 remaining members on the side of Crazy Raccoon pushing in from the same side of the map. The Viper's Wall is such a nuisance. Nats isn't around, so there's no lineups, there's no snake bites to cause problems. Crazy Raccoon is still going to have to fight their way through the defenses of Gambit if they want a shot at this thing. An excellent idea of where Defo is, but Riv, it just may not matter. As Ade gets cleaned up as well, Bazzi has the shock dart, but he doesn't have any friends, he doesn't have any time, he doesn't have any health. Chronicle gets 3, Gambit take the lead.
Gambit just in this form where they can overwhelm Crazy Raccoon, and they're doing it with power and numbers. We saw a few rounds ago, rather. Defo miss a shot. 2 of the members, Redgar and Shados, were peeking right after him. They are right behind each other. It almost seems like an impenetrable defense that they're bringing in on their offense, if you will. You got to have a good both defense and offense to make it work, and they show it. They show it from the defensive side, too, or the offensive side. Timeout here for Crazy Raccoon. It is going to be an ultimate there for the Empress, but they need to figure out why Gambit has such a good read on them right now.
Is it too late? Is it too late? I know the match is still
the
close,
momentum makes it feel like it's too late.
Right.
But the rounds say no, Doug.
Crazy Raccoon have won 3 rounds since round 9. 3. Again, it's like Ascent all over.
Yeah.
Right? Gambit came out a little bit slow. Crazy Raccoon was able to jump on that advantage and get out to an early lead, and then Gambit just kind of chip away. All of a sudden, there's this tsunami of momentum that's coming in from Gambit and Crazy Raccoon. They're just kind of lost in it. They lose their footing. Next thing you know, the map has been lost.
And it's been multiple rounds for Crazy Raccoon to start, right? Gambit, I think, has identified that once they break that mentality, once they do find a stoppage in how Crazy Raccoon is getting money or using ults here, they're into another buy round. Gambit is just biting down as hard as possible, getting the ults where they need, and making sure those rounds, or if they are gun rounds, are incredibly painful, and Crazy Raccoon is not making it out with anything to bring to the next round. 11-10, 2 away as Gambit pull this one back once again. Will they move on?
Defo's on one, you can tell confidently. Moving towards long, pushing off the members of Crazy Raccoon that were holding that. The thing is, so Fisker's got an op, as we see here, holding down any sort of entry onto A. No info gathered there, and they caused some noise, again, with Defo's early shenanigans down B long. And you see some of that rotate over, right? Like, Gambit have shown that they love playing mid, they love getting into kitchen.
Yeah.
That forces Bazzi to cheat over this way.
I feel like if nobody goes up there, Nats is going to. Okay, Chronicle does first. So they leer mid, knowing the smoke is there. Bazzi's got a lot of work.
Oh boy, he's got a lot of work. He's able to get 2. Nats stops that. Defo so weak, 30 HP.
Potential.
The spike is in kitchen, and there's nobody around him. Nats and Defo in a 2v4. And Defo has 4 health, 4 HP to his name.
The momentum has been stopped. The rounds may tell a different story now, and it's going to be Crazy Raccoon trying to sign off on this, but Nats rips a page out of that book. Will he be able to get more? Defo 4 HP, holding steady for someone to peek him. He looks like he'll back off of this situation to start.
I mean, this would be a back-breaking clutch.
Nats, how?
Gambit are able to pull it off. Nats good for 3, and they're going to get onto A. They're going to invest the Viper's Pit as well. Defo's going to show up a little bit late, but the res coming out from Neth should tip odds slowly, or slightly, but certainly back in Crazy Raccoon's favor. Nats is going to have to pull off something absolutely filthy to make this happen. Such excellent use of utility. I like from Crazy Raccoon, though, they're not all coming in from the same way. Munchkin's going in from defender spawn, and the rest of the members going in down low. Nats has been spotted, blasting his way through, and Defo just can't really be a factor here. Yeah, he gets cleaned up. The shock darts there. Munchkin cleans up Defo as well. They're going to get the defuse. Baby, we're tied up at 11.
I thought it was a mix-up by nobody following the drone, but they keep themselves safe. The drone does its job, finds where that shock dart could actually be useful. What a smart play getting in there by Crazy Raccoon, getting the res out and making sure they could bring it back to 11-11, Doug. Let's go. Let's get some overtime out of these two teams.
And they've worked mid, like they've worked too. We've talked about it. They've worked too a couple of times. An excellent hold by Bazzi there, and it was really, I mean, we kind of highlighted that because of the noise that was made at the beginning of the round, Bazzi kind of had to go that way, right? He kind of knew where they were coming, and it was great. The thing for Gambit is they've played the strength in numbers so many times. Bazzi was just able to stuff it this time around.
Nice dart. Really kind of just pushing Defo off his initial, or sorry, Frisker off his initial position. Hunter's Fury comes out. Looks like everybody was able to dodge. No, armor's gone from Defo. Chronicle, as it was right down the choke point where you see Redgar moving through. Great timing on that.
Nats testing the waters towards B long. If he gets an opening there, they might make something happen. Excellent shot out of Fisker, the shock dart to push things back as well. All right, so Nats did get the pick onto Ade, down B long. But if they rotate off, you've got Munchkin who's taking the space away. Exactly what I was about to mention. Munchkin was there. He knew that they lost control of B. He also knew that they weren't going to be able to work their way A because the wall was up and because of the delay and the investment of utility. Munchkin reads that beautifully.
One of the biggest things this round, Doug, is what you mentioned is there was an answer to each kill so far, but Gambit then come up with another one of their own, and what Nats has done may be the upper hand that gives them their 12th round.
Oh my god, look at where he is,
30
bro.
seconds left.
Again, a rat, but Bazzi kind of like senses something's wrong here.
Nat. Yep. Everybody's just checking their corners for Nats.
Well, and the thing is, Gambit have worked Tube and Kitchen so many times. You almost have to check it. Shadow's good for one out of Bazzi, and that should give Nats a bit more room to work with. But you've got Neth who's slowing around, and he's the last one there. Fisker's already fallen. And Neth is alone. Nats' his gun's gonna be spotted. Neth gets things down to a 1v2, but he gets tagged up. Empress online for Shados as well. If things get extra dicey, if things get extra spicy.
Knows where one is.
63 health, he's gonna have to heal himself up. The tap. The swing off, Shados is there to clean things up. Gambit get to map point, they get to series point, they get to knockout stage point.
Gambit's movement, I mean, I'm crediting Nats a lot, but everybody's in on these plays, smartly holding angles, not pushing too much into that B site right away. And you saw that Crazy Raccoon could not rotate. They didn't know where the flank was, or if anybody was on the flank. That's the Gambit you know in dissecting the mentality and the map from their opponent. Crazy Raccoon just didn't know which way to get back onto the site, and Gambit picks up another one, game point.
Chronicle 1 point away from having the Hunter Siri online. You see the Viper's Pit. Wall off. Mid into A. Nats has worked mid as well. Should get a good bit of room to work with, a good bit of intel, and potentially a kill on someone sniffing out the lurk. The wall has been shot through. Oh, Bazzi! Bazzi's able to get the kill onto Nats. That's so big. And now look at where Munchkin is. Munchkin has wrapped his way all the way around. Gambit, they have no choice but to go forward. They're going to have to push through. Crazy Raccoon's defensive start. Fisker dancing around, but Bazzi and Fisker are able to do it. Redgar was on the tap. Redgar in a 1v4. The Lear is there as well. The swing off is beautiful. Fisker gets 3. Oh, baby, we're going to overtime.
Overtime it is the true test. The swap of sides. The momentum changed right now. And you can see everybody participating in this match on the scoreboard. We usually don't pay attention to it, but you got to give love to both teams right here for giving it their all. This match means they move on to the quarterfinals, and both teams want it so bad.
All right, what's the setup looking like here? Do we have any glass cannons? No, so nobody opting to use the op and have no armor here. Rifles for both sides. With that comes full armor, with that comes a smattering of util as well. Crazy Raccoon's gonna test things out on their attacking half early on.
Okay.
You go ahead and use the timeout, figure out what they want.
0-0, reset the mental. This is definitely a bigger feat than many thought coming out of Crazy Raccoon to take Gambit to overtime, to take the early rounds of each map off of Gambit. I think a lot of people thought today would be a fast one for the EMEA squad, and Crazy Raccoon came in saying different.
It's been fun to watch Chronicles pop-offs. They get a little bit more animated every time, right? The closer they get to the end of the map. First, he was like, yep, fist bumps, whatever. Doesn't even look up. All of a sudden, a little bit more. Now he's fired up. You can tell that he's certainly feeling it. And for Crazy Raccoon, for them to be able to weather that storm of Gambit's momentum, to be able to stop that and get themselves to overtime, it's just been so impressive. This is not the same Crazy Raccoon that we saw the first time.
It is not. And they're also varying up their picks like we saw. You have the Reyna in there now for Munchkin, who seems so much more comfortable. Obviously, the duelist loves to go forward, but the fact that they can switch things up and still be this powerful of a team the next day is incredible. They continue to show that power right here. And Crazy Raccoon bringing Gambit to overtime as they pull a few more rounds back in their favor.
Nobody gave Crazy Raccoon a chance, but can they pull off the upset? Can they get to map 3?
We said these would be much closer maps, Doug. The next map as well fares almost the same way in stats for these teams, as the drone will work up from Bazzi on our first OT round to see what could be ready for Crazy Raccoon at A.
Gambit taking some space away defensively down long. You see Defo has worked his way about halfway up. Make sure there's nobody in garage or working in from defender spawn. But look at where Munchkin is. Munchkin's doing a little bit of nats. He's worked his way up into kitchen. And they can play off of that. Big kill off of Shados.
Oh, Munchkin, what can you do out there?
Yep. There it is. Munchkin good for one onto Redgar. The spike's going to pull off. They know that they have a bit more room to work with mid. They can rotate off. It's all going to come on to Defo early on. What kind of hold do you have in you? A bit of a defense of the Alamo type. As he's going to have to hold fast. I think he saw a
Defo.
saw a ponytail. He saw the spike too. Able to get one onto Nev. Bazzi trades that up. A Chronicle taking care of Munchkin. So the lurk is gone. The chaos hits back sight. No longer a problem. Ade on the tap.
30 seconds left.
Ade on the kill. On a Chronicle that's so big. But Gambit, numbers advantage their way. Ade able to get the spike down. Woo!
Little spam.
27 armor and 89 health. Has to swing around, has to land the shots, and he does. Now he's got the Viper's Pit online. That's done, but Shados, who had such a strong performance the first time around, and an opportunity here to bring this back for his team. Snakebite coming up from Ade. Spike continuing to tick away. Shados just so weak. Shados finds the timing. Shados gets 3. And he's going to have enough time for the defuse. Gambit take the lead.
That was a very scary round from, I thought, the way Gambit reacted to the A hit. So many left mid, leaving that open for Munchkin. But the response from Gambit, Shados, again, being the mid-round menace that time. Making sure he gets the clutch. Coming up with a very much needed round for Gambit.
Crazy Raccoon are just not going away. Right, like everything is so close, everything's down to the wire. You see that right there, and the fight, the grit that they've shown has been so impressive to get them to this point. But Gambit with an early lead. Now Gambit are on the attack. What can Crazy Raccoon do to respond? Viper, util, glass cannon coming out from Fisker as well.
Push up through mid. Munchkin already wants to gain a little bit of ground, and he might just go right through this Viper smoke. Gambit's already funneled into A. If the flank comes in, they may have to stay.
Yeah, but exactly. They haven't made their way past 410. The wall's going to go up as well, right at 410. But you see Munchkin is starting to rotate off. He hasn't fully taken the space away.
Just playing the pressure, looking for the audio cues. I love it. Every time the opposing team sets up a wall, the other one blasts it down right away. saying no, thank you. We want the angles, we'll play around. And now the pipes, the conveyor belt, is everything that Gambit is holding, waiting for this util to come out. Why not?
Yeah, and it's almost like they're trying to cut noise to feign the possibility that they're rotating off, but there's no reason for Crazy Raccoon to believe that, right? You've got mid control out from Munchkin, you've got B long control out from Fisker, so there's no reason to think that, oh, they are rotating off. Because of that, they're able to stay 3 on A.
Revealing area.
It looks like it. Okay, he's just checking the back. I thought it might be a rotate out of the site. 3 members. Crazy Raccoon ready for the execute.
That's big, but Shados trades it out.
30 seconds left.
Just playing in a little bit of util. Still so healthy, but Redgar was there. Munchkin's down to 1 HP. Fisker and Ade have a chance at this, a straight-up 3v3, but Munchkin's just so weak. Munchkin's just so weak, but Ade finds the timing. He finds the shots onto Chronicle. Redgar gets the spike down the wall.
What an interesting position.
Ade's gonna have to swing all the way around, and guess what? Nats is there. Just 2 remaining on the side.
2v1.
Crazy Raccoon, a 2v1. Redgar, the captain, able to land the shots. Good for 1. A 1v1. Redgar has the res, too. Yeah, Redgar has the res. He's gonna be able to bring Defo back. Fisker should know
Fisker.
where that's coming from. He comes up top. Fisker has the height advantage.
Oh,
has the shots,
my
but
gosh.
no, it's Redgar who does it. A Red Bull clutch, a 3K, and a spot in the knockout stage for Gambit.
Calling the shots. Has the last one to secure the quarterfinals for Gambit. What a back and forth and a showing from both teams. An awesome series.
There was that pop-off from Chronicle that we saw building there at full display, jumping up. And for Nats,
he's finally contained it all. It has to explode.
It's got to go somewhere. And for Nats, like a shrug. I don't know.
Look at
what just happened.
Look at the smiles though as well for Crazy Raccoon. So powerful from this region, coming to Masters Berlin and being able to almost topple EMEA when no one, like you said, gave them the time of day. What a showing. The credit does go to Gambit through and through. The team played behind each other, around each other, and Nats as well leading a lot of this charge. What a powerful team to be watching going into the quarterfinals we have in Gambit.
Dude, Fisker, crazy son of a gun at the end there.
Yeah.
But you can tell, man, you can tell how much that hurts because we've got to remember Crazy Raccoon had Gambit on the ropes twice. 2 maps where Gambit was able to weather that, was able to take that opening hit from them and were able to counterpunch, and that just hurt so much for the boys of Crazy Raccoon because you could taste it. It was there.
Absolutely. For themselves, too. Throughout that game, it looked like they also knew they had that confidence. They weren't surprised by their own power, which is, you know, why this hurts so much. That practice that Crazy Raccoon put in to be a very respected team here at Masters Berlin, and they will leave with that title.
I think the other thing for Crazy Raccoon was, I think you touched on it a bit, was there was never like a reaction of surprise, like a whoa, we can do this. No, they look confident the whole way.
Absolutely.
Crazy Raccoon played the map so well, in my opinion. They had so many clutch moments, but ultimately for Gambit, they were just too strong. At the end of the day, congratulations to Crazy Raccoon on the performance to get up until this point, to give Gambit almost more than they could handle. But again, Gambit, the grit that they showed, the ability to weather that storm, to take a bit of adversity and to come out on top, that's very impressive.
You know, we've said a lot of names. We got to say one more again. That's Defo, the young heart on the side of Gambit. A lot of people thought Defo might have the shaky hands. He wouldn't be able to do much. We heard Redgar saying, you know, when it does come down to it, we're there to calm him down and allow him to get 20+ frags in a game and come back online, which was very important for Gambit. Defo was such an important part of that squad.
So close to causing what might have been the largest upset on the international stage in Valorant's young life.
So true.
So close. But again, Gambit are able to walk away with the dub. They advance, and they're going to have to deal with Vision Strikers at the beginning of the round, but at the beginning of the knockout stage. But for now, grins across the board for the boys as they celebrate their big win.
And there is a lot of learning in a game like that, right? An almost loss you can take away so much from, because it was on that brink of extinction for both teams. And you can take all of that intensity, what you played with, how you approach the situations, rewind it, and realize what can make you a stronger team. And that goes for both squads coming out of this game.
Yeah, I think one of the things I want us to come back to is important. Both times that Gambit mounted that comeback, it was on their less than ideal sides.
Yeah.
Right? Like they were able to do that
True.
from a position of weakness, if you will,
Yeah.
that got them back into the map. So I think you're right. You learn a lot about who you are as a team. You learn a lot about what you're made of when you're being pushed around in a situation like that, potentially like in a massive upset where you go, wait a second, this should not be this close. Why are we even in this position? So very impressive leadership. Again, I called it at the final round there. Redgar. Redgar just looks so good, impressive, calling the shots for his team, and it was exactly what they needed at the end of the day.
And now Gambit look ahead to Vision Strikers. That is not going to be an easy matchup either.
No, absolutely not. But as we mentioned, right, like they're celebrating their win. They're enjoying the win that they just got now, right? Like we'll worry about Vision Strikers. We'll worry about that when we get there. But again, super impressive performance from Gambit. We learned a lot about them. They learned a lot about themselves. Crazy Raccoon, they put up one heck of a fight, though. I mentioned it in jest earlier, but I'm glad there's not more than one Crazy Raccoon. That one Crazy Raccoon alone was almost enough.
Absolutely. I mean, there's 7 of them right now, right? And that's actually what makes this team so powerful, is that they can diversify what they're bringing to the table. Even in these last moments, they completely flip the script. And who's Jet, who's Reyna, what's playing Cypher. You're bringing a Sova instead from Medusa. And a lot of credit goes to that team for being able to show that that style will work. Having people around and able to kind of talk to the players, see what's happening outside the game. I mean, we know Vision Strikers has Lakia to be used, right? Having that person over the shoulder, kind of downloading every strat that's happening to make that team more robust is a real thing.
Yeah, Lakia is a spicy one that we'll talk about later on. I have plenty of thoughts on that one. But Riv, I do want to get your thoughts on that, though, because does this make you a believer of more than a 5-man roster?
Absolutely. I mean, that goes for any squad. We've seen it in past esports. It's dependent on how you feel, you know, coming into that day. And it is nice to have somebody that's not feeling great be able to sit out. Somebody that can come in or at least have that practice time and insert themselves into a slot, because that throws another team off. I think we saw a lot of Gambit not knowing what those 6-7 rounds of Ascent and Icebox were all about, because they were looking at a completely different composition for Crazy Raccoon than Gambit ever saw.
Gambit, they get pushed around a bit, but they're able to punch back and walk away with a 2-0 win over Crazy Raccoon, advance to the knockout stage, and punch a date with Vision Strikers. Folks, we're going to cut to a break. When we return, one more series before we close out the night. You're not going to want to miss it. To victory, but they have done it. Gambit, they secured the last spot at the knockout rounds after taking down Crazy Raccoon. I'm your host, Yingsu. I'm back with Tom and Sean. Sean, they didn't make it easy for them, though, did they?
No, yeah, that was such a hard-fought game for Crazy Raccoon. Your heart has to go out for them. I mean, they lost so many of those coin flippy type rounds, even going back to the second round of the second half, the thrifty that kind of got them in a really weird scenario. There was rounds where Fisker got double entries.
Shadows clutch right near the end through the Viper's pit. Like,
I mean, there's so many of those rounds that could have gone either way, and it seemed like they were all heading in Gambit's direction. But the credit has to be given to someone like Nats, who made that luck happen.
Oh, for sure. Like, there were rounds with him, Defo as well. Like, I think that was the most exciting thing about this series is, or this map in particular, is if you go back into other matchups, like, for example, the last map, we were looking at Fisker and Munchen and going, they've got to perform better if they're going to have a chance here. There wasn't a bad player in this entire map. Like, everybody performed, everybody had their moments. Shadow started incredibly slow, then ends up clutching one of the most important rounds in the entirety of the map. And I think the synergy from Crazy Raccoon on this map, compared to the last time they played it, it was so different. Like, it wasn't even close to the last performance.
Yeah, I think that's in large part to do with the role switches in their team. Yeah. I think Fisker looked way more comfortable in the Jet. I mean, you said coming into this tournament, he used to play Jet, and like, it was disappointing to you to see him kind of locking in the sky throughout the tournament. This was by far Crazy Raccoon's, in my eyes, their most impressive map in the entire event. They probably should have won it.
Yeah, I do wonder if Fisker, you know, going forward, they're going to just leave him on the Jet a little bit more often. But his opposite number, Defo, I mean, we were speaking about this during the game, Tom, but maybe it could have just been a ping difference as to why he didn't show up at the EMEA playoffs. But on LAN, he's crazy.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things I said, like, Nats tweeted just as they got there, it's like, it's really good to play on low ping. Well, now they've got to actually sit on the stage, and the difference between him there and now, I don't know if it might just be a slight psychological thing. I don't know, I can throw that one to Sean. Did you ever feel that, where it's like, my aim feels really good on LAN, and then you just played better? Yeah,
it just feels like the game registers so fast, right? It just feels like there's zero input delay. Everything's going your way. The bullets are always going right where you're aiming. And you can see Defo, when he has the Blade Storm out, he just plays with so much confidence. He's just dashing for more kills after 3, like that clip.
Yeah, I mean, Tom, also at the same time, them being the performance they played today, you know, it wasn't too bad. They managed to secure that win, but they can't really have a slow start like they did on both maps going forward, because the teams in playoffs are scary.
Well, yeah, we've already witnessed, for example, when I think it was Ascend had a slow start versus Vision Strikers. That was the map.
Yes,
like, they were lost before anything got going. And the thing is, Vision Strikers also have a lot of really cool little set plays that they're going to be throwing out to try and almost throw you off. And don't get me wrong, I think Crazy Raccoons played well, but they are not on the level of a team like Vision Strikers. So I think Gambit did well, but they need to be much better and very quickly.
Very quickly. And I mean, this is tomorrow we're talking about here.
Exactly.
They might have to deal with the whole Lakia up of Vision Striker's sleeve thing that we've heard in interviews. I mean, are they going to bust him out for the playoffs?
I mean,
they that confident?
They are supposedly, Buzz said that Lakia was being saved for the playoffs. But looking at beyond playoffs as well to Champions, of course, the big tournament at the end of the year, I can now announce that with that win over Crazy Raccoon, Gambit have locked themselves in. They are the first EMEA team so far, Tom, to be secured for that spot at Champions. I am so excited. You know, a lot of us probably expected this.
I was devastated when they didn't make it to Reykjavik. Like, that was one of the things that made me most sad, like the fact that they had to come up against Fnatic, and I was like, no, don't make me choose between these two teams. So the fact that they're the first squad locked in, I think they deserve it. They've been so good coming into EMEA, not even that long ago, after having to stick it out in the CIS. And honestly, there's no other team from our region I would love to see more at that event.
Yeah, they had some heartbreaking results that prevented them from getting that world stage over in Iceland. But we've heard all of the rumors behind the scenes of the Scrim Bucks with Gambit, man. They're just torching everyone that plays them in Scrim. So I think, you know, this team is only going to get better. They're full of young players that haven't lived up to those moments in the high pressure scenarios. Yeah. That's only going to come with time.
Of course, Defo, the player we spoke about already, he's going to be going to Champions back in Berlin here. And let's check out Verizon's high-speed moment of the match. Of course, this is Defo with the knives. We're going to be seeing plenty of this as the tournament goes on, and of course the Champions as well. This was kind of nutty, Sean.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I love the combination of the Sova arrow while he dashes into the Cloudburst, right? Because you either break that Sova arrow, give up your spot, and then have to reposition, or you let it ping, and he's just demolishing you from inside the Cloudburst. There's no winning in this scenario for Crazy Raccoon. He's too good.
This is how you know that Sean is an analyst, where someone gets a load of headshots with some knives and he goes, yeah, but the Sova dart. Like, shut up, Sean. He killed people with a knife. No one cares about the Sova dart.
Watch the highlight. Yeah, just let us watch the highlight. But now we're going to send it over to Dash, who is standing by with a quick Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you so much, Insu. I'm standing by with Nats as Gambit secures the final spot to the knockout stage. And as we just learned, you've also booked your ticket to Champions later in the year. I imagine that's got to be a bit of a relief here coming off of a very intense series.
Yeah, we just, I don't know. I don't have any emotions right now. We just qualified to playoffs. We just qualified to Champions. I guess after the tournament, we're going to talk about that. But right now, we have to prepare for other opponents, and we don't have time to be funny for this.
I imagine it's very draining to play a series like that, especially when you consider how different it was from the first time around. I'll remind everybody at home that the first time you faced Crazy Raccoon, it was 13-1 on both maps, the most dominant series we've seen so far. This one a lot closer, 13-8 and a 14-12. So from your perspective, what was different maybe about either your opponents this time around or your play that made it so much closer?
Actually, the first time I was watching their demos and everything what they done here, we just knew. But right now, we played Ascent, they changed the player, they changed the lineup of agents, and we wasn't ready, I guess, for their playstyle. They tried to control-play us in T-side, but after that, we just talk, we said what we have to do do that things. On Icebox is the same thing, we was ready to other pick, and that's why we had some problems on CT side, but after that, we just communicate with each other, say we have to play like that, and let's try. It was worked, and come back.
Who's the person when you guys are down like that, 6-0 or 7-1 on Icebox, who's usually who's stepping in to kind of take the leadership role and talk to everybody about what needs to change moving forward to do exactly what you did and turn it around?
Actually, he's doing Redgar. I'm sometimes trying to help him, but actually, I guess everyone can say something like that. Yeah, guys, that's working. Don't change that. They're playing like this. Everybody can try to fix the problem. We are losing. We have to do something, and that's why Redgar first call. That's after that mine and Chronicle, therefore, and Shadows.
I got you. Everybody's stepping in at different moments, and we've seen that across the play as well in the team. You mentioned that there's no time really to celebrate because tomorrow you get right back into it against a very strong opponent in Vision Strikers. I just want to get your thoughts ahead of that matchup, less than 24 hours away.
Actually, it's going to be a very interesting match. We practice against them. We're playing really good. Before the Berlin, I'm going to say that I thought they're the best team right now. They're going to fight against Sentinels, but right now we're going to play against them. I hope we will show best performance tomorrow, because today something went wrong, I guess. We could play better, but tomorrow, trust me, it's going to be other play from us.
I am so excited to see that series tomorrow, and if you take them down, hey, that's going to spell some great things for you in the rest of the knockout stage. But I want to congratulate you on carrying through to that knockout stage, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you, everyone.
From here, we're going to a break before we close out our day with Sentinels versus F4Q. But as we go to break, take a look at our Prime Gaming post-match highlights.